What's up, dudes and dudettes? Welcome back to my channel. As always, it's me here, yours truly, Sugi, and today I'm going to be reviewing a brand new game called Frostpunk, which is this sort of a strategy survival game, not a tower defense, not a simulator, just a game where your objective is to survive. And as the name suggests, it takes place in this post-apocalyptic world, a bit of a dystopian world, where everything is literally freezing, and you're leading the last remaining people pretty much on Earth, and it's your job to take care of the citizens on the city and make sure that the city's infrastructure is able to withstand the freezing cold. And the temperature is going down as the game goes down, and you have to prepare more and more on the heating side of things, and this includes heating the houses or improving the houses, making your main reactor to produce more heat and more warmth so people won't get sick and all that stuff. So it is in its core a survival game, and there is a main campaign in the game, or I really shouldn't call it a campaign. These are different scenarios. There's 3 of them right now, and I assume a 4th one is going to come at one point. And the game is about strategy, but it does tackle some things like ethics and morality, because throughout the game you are able to implement these type of laws. So you can enforce a law like child labor, which will create discontent with the people, and if the discontent goes really high, this will decrease hope, and if hope goes to 0, your people will rebel against you and pretty much, put you to the guillotine and kill you, and then the game is over. So you're gonna have to manage the popularity or be favored by the people in the city, so you can't do absolutely everything that will make people angry. And this is anywhere from doing emergency shifts on the jobs and tasks that they will do, from collecting resources or being doctors or being researchers who will do these upgrades, and you can do things. And then you get to also explore out of the city, send these scouts which will harvest the different minerals or find more refugees that are bring into the city. And it is a bit of an interesting, as I mentioned, kind of a tackle on ethics and morality of things. As the game goes on, you are also able to make a decision: will you go through this sort of a religious faith type of a society, or this sort of a very authoritarian order type of a society? And each of them have different buildings and different traits that they can use through their own a law trees. So you have the one basic tree, and then you can spread out to either one of the faith or the order, and they have different perks on them, and they have their ups and downs, both of them, but both have this ending, kind of a similar end game research or law as you progress toward the tree. And then there are upgrades which can do a bunch of stuff, get you better buildings, get you better upgrades, and improve the reactor by spreading its heat levels or its size, radius, and these type of things. And this is pretty much the main point of the game. And throughout the scenarios, they are very similar to each other, so you have to build up the city and do some other objectives, and you have to prepare for the storm. And the storm is this sort of a stage where the things get really frozen, so to speak, minus 110 Celsius or something crazy like that, and you have to survive it, and then the game, you have won. Okay, and going into these scenarios, you can also adjust the difficulty, which is really nice, which brings a bit of a replayability. But since we're talking about replayability, this is probably the game's main fundamental problem, okay? It took me around 17 hours to complete all of the scenarios. There is nothing single player or multiplayer elements in the game which could offer you a different type of scenarios, because there is that sort of a late game fantasy where you want to get all the laws and all the upgrades and fully build city. You can't get that in the game right now, because the way that the game is done, it always will end in the point X as the time runs out, essentially. And that is, well, it's a survival game, so there always has to be an end pretty much, I agree, but there's not really that sandbox mode that the game needs. Like, now that I have done all the missions, I know there's a fourth one coming out, but I'm not sure will I bother and coming back to the game again and play it. So is it really worth the value? This is a $30 game, and you can buy a lot of other strategy games that will give you more hours, whatever it's that's Factorio or RimWorld or There's No Oxygen. These games can give you plus 100 hours. And the game would also probably, Frostpunk could use something like modding. I mean, the graphics, the music, the atmosphere, the storytelling, the dialogues a bit, and the choices, these are all nice elements. But I don't think the game designers really thought this through, like where I'm going to get the replayability. Is 17 hours worth the value of $30? 30 euros for me. And obviously, value is something that is objective. So one person would say this game is valued $100. Another person is going to say, oh, this game is actually valued $5. So for me personally, I wouldn't buy the game basis on that you don't get that many hours on it. There's really no point of replayability because I'm not really the type of person who wants to play again a certain mission on a harder difficulty. I don't see the value in that. And since there is no single player or multiplayer things or create your own type of scenario, it just doesn't really add up to the numbers. And I think this is just very, like, why would you make a game like this that doesn't, I don't know, like, I haven't read, like, anything what the developers are planning to do in the future, so who knows, they might, like, add more content, more campaign missions, but right now, the game's value is off for me, okay? But enough about that. So to kind of summarize my thoughts about the game, the setting is interesting. There has been some survival strategy games in the past, not that many though. It's not really like that big of a genre yet. There are Billions is probably one good example. I have that game too, but that is still on very early progress. But even that game has, I guess, more to offer than Frostpunk right now. And it is like a very, very detailed game, and the graphics look nice, the frozen effects look nice, and there are some type of different paths and like systems which you can go through, like a different talent tree build that you can go for, and you can explore the Frostlands, and you can do a bit more scouting oriented. There are certain play styles that a game allows you, so there's a bit of flexibility, but the gameplay experience is not still that different. Because in the end of the day, you will be doing a lot of the same stuff, and there will be things that are really effective on all the missions, and it's not so different. Like, one strategy will be something that will be prevailing, or one route through the talent tree and the laws will be prevailing versus the other ones on the game. And that will be the most efficient way to beat the game. But, I mean, it wasn't like not like a bad game, it's just that it didn't give you enough on the value of the money. That's what I'm arguing here for. But then again, I'm like, would I have played like 4 or 3 another scenarios just like this? Because I don't really honestly see that much of a replayability, because you get to explore a lot of the talent trees and the laws through these 3, playthroughs on these scenarios. So it's not really, it's a bit disappointment, to be honest, because I was hoping that it would be some type of sandbox mode or something like that in the game. But there's good FPS on the game, no frame drops. It was well optimized, and the sounds and the graphics are neat, and they're really good material in my point of view. But I just don't. I mean, the game is like a lot of like cinematics bought on it, and a lot of promotion on the game, which is kind of surprising given that the scale of the game is not really that big. But that's pretty much my end verdict for the game. If you find it on sale, that's probably where you want to buy it, or wait till they add more content inside the game, whatever that is, a Steam workshop, add on to the game, or DLC perhaps. I'm not sure what they could do to increase the replayability, but I just don't see the value for my money, because a lot of other strategy games can take any 100 hours or plus 20 hours easily. So in that typical genre, I think there are better options for you right now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave your comments below if you have any questions about the game. I will be answering them. If I know the answers, probably will. But I will see you guys next time. Cheers.